Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Jam. I'm doing my second part of the three-part series, A Gift and a Curse. The second series is over cell phones. Everybody, for the most part, has a cell phone, and I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to this episode of Jam. I'm your host, Jarvis Johnson. Like I said in the intro, this is the second part of a three-part series, A Gift and a Curse. And today we're going to be talking about cell phones. Man, everybody loves their cell phones. This driving type of topic we have a deep connection with, whether we like it or not. We're talking about those cell phones, those little gadgets that fit in your pockets, but they often end up ruining our lives, really and truly. They are without a doubt both a gift and a curse. Before we get started, take a moment and think about this. How long has it been since you last checked your phone? Was it during this episode? I bet it was. And that's exactly what I want to explore today. The good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to our beloved smartphones. But first, let's go back in time a little bit, the evolution of the cell phone. They were launched with the intention of calling each other. Everybody, way back before cell phones, we had a landline, but when you weren't at home, you couldn't contact one another. So they came up with a cell phone. Motorola launched the first handheld mobile phone in 1973. It weighed about 2 pounds. Back when I was growing up, we called that thing the brick phone. Due to its size and weight, they were normally called car phones because you had to have it plugged up into your cigarette lighter in your car. And not only were they too large or heavy to carry, they were usually very expensive for the common person. But from then on, they got smaller and smaller, and more advancements were added to the cell phones. Texting, which is used a lot nowadays, was added in 1992. Downloaded ringtones. Everybody remembers that. You took your favorite song and added it to your ringtone. It was added in 1998. Phones were built with cameras. That started around in the 2000s when everybody became a photographer and a videographer, right? Everybody could take pictures and then videos came on later on. The BlackBerry, which was a popular phone at one point, it came out in 99. It had a standout feature being sent and receiving emails from your phone to stay in touch with your colleagues outside of work as well. That was in the BlackBerry. And not only were there new features coming out, the shape of phones was also changing. They were becoming more sleek. They were no longer like the brick phones. But, now if you look at them in today's world, when we go out to buy a smartphone, looking for a phone that can also send, receive calls is the least of our concerns. We want the phone with, let's say, for instance, the best camera that can compete with professional cameras. We want the phone with the best display, which gives us the best colors, and the one that's the most fluid. What we do with our phone has completely changed over the years, which is to be expected with the introduction of the new features. Smartphones have gotten so advanced and powerful that they've even replaced laptops, computers. They replaced Discman, and now they're replacing, for the most part, scanners, all of that stuff. I always say that, cell phones are going to make everything extinct. But with great power comes great responsibility. How has this device shaped our society? Has it done more good than harm? And how can we minimize its negative effects on us? We're going to discuss all of that in this episode. But let's start with the gift part. There's no denying that cell phones have really changed the way we communicate, the way we work, even think about the world around us. Remember the days when you had to memorize a phone number, when somebody had to write it down on paper and give it to you, and if you wanted to keep it, you had to remember it? Or when you had to carry around a map when you traveled? Obviously you don't have to do that anymore. You just put it in your GPS, right? Things have changed so much with the cell phone. If you needed to get in touch with someone, you'd have to find a payphone or wait until you got home to make the call. Yep, that was a long time ago, but it feels like a lifetime, doesn't it? With cell phones, we've gone from landlines to instant communication with anyone, anywhere, at any time. Social media, texting, and apps like WhatsApp, FaceTime, Zoom have made us more connected than ever before. You can talk to someone on the other side of the world in real time, share pictures and videos. You can collaborate on work projects. I mean, Google has really elevated this thing with Google Docs. You can really work on a project at the same time, or you can build an entire relationship through a screen. Think about the apps we use daily. GPS guides us from point A to point B without even thinking about it. Bank transactions, shopping, learning, and entertainment. I mean, you could pull up Netflix and watch your favorite show whenever you wanted to. It's right there in the palm of your hand. Need advice? Go to Google, right? Want to check in with your family? FaceTime them, Snapchat them. You feel lonely? There's a podcast. You feel jammed? There's a podcast, right? Or maybe a video of puppies doing adorable things if you want to feel better. It's hard to ignore the immense convenience that come with having a supercomputer in your pocket. I mean, this thing is so powerful. We can do so much, and most of us wouldn't even dream of leaving the house without our cell phone. It's like having the world at your fingertips. That is definitely a gift, right? But here's the thing. With great power, like I said before, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's where the curse of cell phones comes into play. Let's talk about it. Now, I know you might be thinking, what's the big deal? I love my phone, and I love mine too. And honestly, I get it. I really do. But let's face the uncomfortable truths. We're more addicted to our phones than we care to admit. How often do you find yourself checking your phone for no reason? It's almost like we have a compulsion that we need to stay connected 24/7, even when there's nothing important to check. And it's not about just mindless scrolling. Studies have shown that constant phone use is directly linked to stress, anxiety, and even depression. Social media platforms, which we'll talk about later, while great for connecting with others, often show us versions of people's lives, leaving us feeling inadequate or lonely. The endless comparison game is exhausting. Let's talk about notifications for a second. I don't know about you, but the ding of a new message or an email or even a like on my post makes me feel like I have to check it every single time. It's like we're trained to respond to the little pings and vibrations. We live in a world that's constantly demanding our attention, and it's exhausting. You got to admit it. You can't even sit through a meal, a meeting, or a conversation without the urge to look at your phone. We've all been there, right? The need to check your device. Let's see what's going on. Oh my gosh, I got to check it. Even if it's not going to add anything or any value to your day. And what about the whole concept of phone addiction? We joke about it, but it's real. Research shows that people check their phones on an average of 96 times per day. I mean, that device in your pocket, you could pull it out right now and see how many times you open that phone per day. That's right, 96 times on average. Whether it's to scroll through Instagram, check the weather, or see if your friend has posted anything new on Facebook. We're glued to these devices. And when we're not on our phone, we're thinking about them. We're anxious when we leave them at home or realize that they're running out of battery. I mean, that's the worst. Oh, my phone's running low. I got to find a charger, get a charger. It's like the cell phone has become a literal extension of ourselves. But wait a second. Let's think about this. There's more. We're constantly on, and I'm not just talking about social media here. Work emails, messages, and reminders follow us wherever we go. The boundaries between work and personal life are now blurred. They go together. Some of us work from our phones, answer emails on the weekends, and struggle to disconnect. This constant connection can lead to a burnout, fatigue, and a sense of never truly clocking out of being at work, never fully giving the mind and the body a break. And then there's safety issues. We all know that texting and driving is dangerous, but we still do it. But how many times have you seen somebody checking their phone while walking down the street, oblivious of their surroundings? The fact is, we're more distracted than ever. And it's not just while driving. We're distracted in meetings, during meals, even spending time with family. You know, you got your husband, wife, kids all sitting there, and there you are scrolling through Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And there's people, your loved ones are sitting right there with quality time that you can never get back. So to sum it up, we got this incredible tool in our hands that connects us. It entertains us, and it simplifies our lives in so many ways. That's the gift part. But we've also got this powerful device that can overwhelm us, disconnect us from reality, and even cause mental health issues. Now, I'm not suggesting that we throw the phones away. That's not practical, and that's probably not good. But maybe we can start thinking about how we use them, setting boundaries, taking a break from the screens, being mindful of when we pick up the phone and why. Maybe we need to start looking at our phones like we look at sugar, something sweet, something useful, but something that if we have too much of it, it can harm us. I want you to think about the use of these cell phones. Obviously, they're good for us. We have to use them. They provide they're a great tool. They provide great things for us. Do you see your phone as a gift, a curse, or maybe a little bit of both? Take some time to really evaluate how you're using that phone. If you use it too much and then you feel like it's harmful to you and your family, then you may want to put it down for a little while. Because if you don't, you'll be jammed. Thanks for listening.